What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and today we're taking a look at one of the more slept on Travis Scott merch collections, which was known as the Blackout Collection. Now, you might be wondering what that is, so while you're here, you might as well go ahead and drop a like and subscribe. Now, while I was researching Travis Scott's upcoming Jordan collaboration, the Nike Cut the Checks that you'll see on his feet right here, it got me thinking about the release of the Black Phantoms. Now, along with the Black Phantom Jordan 1 lows, he actually had this Blackout merch collaboration, and you might be wondering what exactly I'm talking about. Now, this video takes us all the way back to December 2020, just about a year ago, for the release of Travis Scott's Black Phantom Air Jordan 1 low collaboration. Now, if you still don't know what I'm talking about, essentially whenever Travis Scott, aka La Flame, would drop any kind of sneaker collaboration, such as these Black Phantoms on his website, you can bet that the king of merch also had some kind of merch collaboration to go along with it. And this beetle or bee that you guys see featured on the left heel of the sneaker is going to be a theme that you'll see throughout this Blackout collection. Now, personally, I wasn't sure what to expect when this announcement was actually made because, of course, a lot of people don't think they have a great shot when it comes to his drops. However, throughout the years, I have been lucky enough to get my hands on them. And one thing I did want to point out is for the raffle for those sneakers, they were available in several different sizes. Now, as for the merch itself, I just wanted to point out that a lot of these pieces kind of give me a Travis Scott Utopia merch vibe, and I'm going to go ahead and point out exactly what I mean, starting with this first piece. Now, I don't know about you, but it's kind of vaguely reminiscent of this piece that was featured as part of the Utopia merch, so I feel like we can kind of see the influence or aesthetic or direction, and let me know in the comments if you're kind of picking up what I'm putting down here. And as for the shipping times, of course, with any kind of Travis Scott merch drop, you know that it's more or less a suggested time, so 6 to 8 weeks is about normal and what we come to expect when it comes to these drops. Now, personally, I'm not quite sure what that is going on the tee, but I think that it's a dope little figure or figurine, and I think it's personally hard. And I think the fact that the retail's $55 is pretty consistent, especially with the rest of artist merch drops that we've been seeing throughout these last few videos. Now, personally, this little bedazzled blackout piece, I think it's kind of dope, although I don't know if I'd rock it myself, and I just wanted to highlight that there are some interesting pieces throughout this actual merch. And as I'm making this video looking back on this drop, I think the whole thing has to do with like electricity and the fact that the whole theme has to do with blackout. And of course, we do see this little character that's present throughout some of these pieces. Now, personally, this crew neck here for $120 definitely jumps the gun with the price and is definitely a bit steeper. And when comparing it to the crew neck to the left of it, as you guys can see, the price drops down to $75. So I'd like to hope and think that there is something to justify that price difference between the two pieces. Now, the more shocking thing when it comes to this piece right here, as you guys can see, is that the merch shipping time jumps from 6 to 8 weeks all the way from 10 to 14 or 10 to 12, which in my opinion is always absurd given the idea that you're giving away all this money to then wait up to 3 months to actually get the piece in hand. So if you've been through this merch shipping struggle, let me know in the comments because I definitely feel you. Now, some of these pieces, like this one we just looked at, I think are super hard, and this one might actually be my favorite. Like I said, a lot of the theme when it comes to this actual merch drop has to do with the blackout or electricity of some sort. So here you can see we've got some kind of character with the introduction of Beetlejack, which is a new character we haven't actually seen since this drop. Now, like I said earlier in the video, I think the whole theme definitely is starting to make a lot more sense and tying in together, given that this is some kind of like lightning bug or lightning beetle, as you guys can see. And of course, we've got this dope silhouette of this Beetlejack on the back, which again, I think this is actually really hard looking back on it. And again, why I wanted to say that I really think that this merch collection was actually slept on. I don't think I've seen anybody talk about it or mention it, and the fact that it only dropped less than a year ago is kind of alarming. Now, next up, we've got this studded pullover hoodie, which I think is pretty dope and honestly reminds me of like some 90s tribal tattoo design. Now, personally, I think that the hoodie price being $125 is pretty normal, and honestly, I probably would have picked it up looking back on it now. Now, for a price that's a little less than normal is $185 for the zip-up hoodie, and although I think it is kind of hard for the design, it's not something I would have personally picked up myself. Now, with most of these Travis Scott merch drops, of course, we've got a dope little hat, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one, which of course features our new buddy, aka Beetle Jack. Now, personally, I don't remember picking this up myself. However, if you did in the comments, let me know how it was and what you guys think about it. And although we haven't seen my boy Beetlejack since this drop, I wouldn't mind them reintroducing him in another drop just so we can see the continuity. Now, as we saw in the Utopia merch drop, this drop actually also featured a studded belt, which has a lot going on, but personally, I think it's pretty hard, and shout out to anybody that can pull it off, because personally, I don't think your boy could. Next up, we've got a keychain, which has become pretty standard as part of Travis Scott drops, followed up by this pretty sick beanie, which honestly, I regret not picking up. This is definitely something I could see myself wearing, and let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, with any great Travis Scott merch drop, of course, we had to have some socks, and personally, I think these are super sick and would complement that beanie that we just saw. And again, I feel like we see that kind of tribal tattoo 90s hard rock grunge aesthetic kind of going on, which I personally really dig, especially having grown up on that kind of rock aesthetic and music. And we did just see that $200 weekend bag, which I'm sure there's somebody that picked it up, and let me know what you guys think of the quality. Now, to round out this Blackout merch collection, we also got some collaboration pieces with the Jordan brand, and this is why we're seeing that flight that's mentioned right there in terms of the graphics. Now, personally, I don't think that these pants are anything crazy for $125. However, I do think it's of course sick that they use the Cactus Jack branding. Now, next up to follow those sweatpants, we've got this cozy hoodie for $170, which personally, I don't think is that bad. And although I don't really wear Jordan brand apparel, I probably would pick up these pieces, especially because I think that they're hard. Now, for what is my actual favorite piece from this drop, although I don't actually own it, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get the price point on it, are these Travis Scott Jordan brand paisley shorts, which complement the Black Phantom sneakers. And let me know in the comments what you think about them. Again, I don't really wear Jordan brand apparel unless I'm hooping in it, so I think these are something that are definitely more casual that you could slip on. And I think that it's sick that it features the Cactus Jack branding along with just the overall paisley aesthetic. Now, to round out this video, you know we had to save the best for last, aka the most expensive piece I've seen in quite some time when it comes to Travis Scott merch drops. Yep, you've got that right. You could get your hands on this Travis Scott Letterman varsity jacket for $750 retail. Now, with that being said, guys, let me know what you guys think about this overall Blackout merch drop. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I think it's definitely a slept-on drop, especially given that it's been less than a year about it, and I haven't seen anybody actually rocking it or talking about it. As always, guys, thank you so much for checking out this videos, and let me know what you guys think. While you're here, you might as well drop a like and subscribe. As always, stay safe. Let me know what you guys like to see next. It's lit. Straight up, and peace, guys. Thanks for watching.